Grandpa sold his ranch for $3.5 million, handing it all to my dad to care for me. He pleaded, yet one stormy night, Dad brutally threw him out like refuse. Can you imagine watching your own father, in the dead of night during a furious storm, violently shove your frail, elderly grandfather out onto a porch, leaving him to shiver in the biting rain? And your mother? She just stood there, completely silent, letting the man who gave them everything endure that cold, brutal betrayal. That night I knew my family had lost something far more precious than any money or land, their very humanity. Just weeks later, my grandpa passed away in my arms. But as I held him, as I sorted through his few belongings, I found a hidden diary and a contract that revealed a shocking truth about months of deception. And that's when I discovered a final wish I never could have anticipated. Hey everyone, I'm Caleb Ellison, and I'm 25 years old. I live and work in Billings, Montana, a small city cradled by endless fields, where dusty roads snake past dairy farms and weathered wooden houses. Billings isn't some glamorous place, but it's got that raw, authentic soul of the American West. Fiery red sunsets, winds whispering the scent of dry grass, and people who live at a slower pace, deeply connected to the land. I'm an Uber driver, navigating my old pickup truck through these familiar streets, picking up passengers from the airport or ferrying them home from bars. It's not a crazy job, but it's enough to get by. More importantly, it gives me the time to drive over an hour to Sheridan County, Wyoming, where my grandfather, Warren Ellison, lived alone on our family ranch. That ranch? It wasn't just a piece of land to me. It was my whole world. Hundreds of acres stretched out, where beef and dairy cattle grazed peacefully. An old barn stood tall beside the weathered wooden house. This was the Ellison family legacy, passed down through generations, steeped in the sweat and love of everyone who lived and died for it. The ranch was where I grew up, where my grandpa taught me how to milk cows, mend fences, and most importantly, how to live with kindness and integrity. Caleb, he'd say in his warm, steady voice, his hand on my shoulder, land isn't just something to own. It's something to preserve, to tell your family's story. Grandpa Warren was a rugged, weathered man, but his heart was overflowing with compassion. At 78, he still carried the undeniable air of a true rancher, calloused hands, a face etched with wrinkles like a map of his life, and bright, though age-dimmed eyes. He was once the strongest man I knew, but in recent years, I'd watched him weaken. His hands began to tremble, his steps grew slower, and his voice no longer carried its old resonance. My grandmother passed away 6 years ago, leaving a gaping, aching hole in his heart. I still remember the day she died. He just sat on the porch, staring out at the fields, silent, quietly wiping away tears. From then on, he lived alone at the ranch. But I knew he wasn't truly alone. He had his cattle, his fields, the memories of my grandma, and he had me. I drove up to... Full story video added in below.